SEMO head coach Tom Matukewicz, the team coming off a loss at number one and defending champion North Dakota State. They're back in action. They're home. War for the wheel. Southern Illinois comes to town. They are nationally ranked. So, Coach, some thoughts about your team, then we'll go to some questions.
Yeah, the thing I talked with my team about was just make sure we don't waste the North Dakota State game. It's a tough game to play, but there's a reason we play it. We need to understand where we're at, what are things that need to improve, and make sure that after that game that we're better for it. And so it's challenging. Anytime you got new players and young players, sometimes they need success to have confidence, and we don't have that luxury. But the thing we did get is we've got a lot of feedback in our 3 games, a lot of things that we know exactly what it is we have to improve to be able to be successful this weekend. Now it's up to us to get it done.
Obviously, and what you just said, North Dakota State is the defending champions and good. Like, was it worth playing that game to learn those things about your team? Because I think earlier in the season you said you got to play the best teams out there.
I do. I mean, at the end of the day, anytime you stress test something, it's a good thing if you don't break, and I think as a program and as a team, we're to a point where we just need to understand things better. And at the end of the day, we're not in that class, from a support standpoint, from a recruiting standpoint, from a coaching standpoint. So we have to grow. But I have a little better idea about all those things. And so it was a net positive. And, we got to use that as our advantage. They were good enough to expose our lack of fundamentals in several areas. And so can we improve those fundamentals in the next 3 or 4 days?
Well, let's just talk about rivalries and what it means to play a team that's just up the road that you have a connection to, that everything that goes into this war for the wheel, and what it means to both programs and the community.
Yeah, I think the game is what it is today because of the teams before, the coaches and the players before. And so this game was a natural rivalry, but it really wasn't that big a deal when I got here. And so both programs have elevated and gotten to this game where they've been really competitive. And since we started the trophy in 2018, the winner has went on to the playoffs. And so that obviously has huge implications. And so, it is what it is. I don't shy away from it. You can have a good year and lose to your rival, but you can't have a great year and lose to your rival. You got to win this game, or it's a black eye on the season.
They have a number in front of their name. Obviously, they're ranked. People are talking about them. But does a rivalry sometimes, if one team is, better than another or whatever, does all that sort of go out the window when you're playing somebody who's so close and that you all know so much about?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think it is different. You just know so much about each other. It's weird. I think the last 4 games, the home team has lost. We haven't beat them since I think 2019 at home. So that's kind of interesting stat. But at the end of the day, you could throw records off. You could throw rankings. They were number 17, I think 7 last year when we went and beat them. So I mean, at the end of the day, this is just going to be a really hard fought game. Hopefully, fourth quarter game, and we get after it.
Got a couple questions here submitted to me about from the SIU beat writer. What concerns you most about the SIU offense?
Well, that might be the easiest question I've ever had in the history of questions asked. DJ Williams, I mean, number one, he's the whole offense. He runs it and throws it. He's one of the best players in FCS football, and so we have our work cut out for us.
And somebody who maybe Coach Simpson said last week, he touched the ball every play, right? As you're saying, he's such a weapon for them, either with his foot or hand. Is that hard to scheme for?
Yeah, it is. Um, it's just so different than what normal football is, and the fact that you got a tailback in there that can throw it like a quarterback. And so, you got to kind of pick and choose what you want to try to defend. The biggest thing is you just got to try to make them earn all of it. You know, one thing we haven't done well defensively is eliminate the big plays. We've given up an average of 7 explosives a game. And so that's what can't happen. We have to make him drive it. You know, if he gets 4 or 5 yards, no problem. If he gets 25 yards, that's a problem. You know, and so we got to make sure we don't miss tackles. We got to have to have good overlap play from the second, third levels.
Well, let's flip it then. Talk about their defense and special teams and what you've seen from them on that.
Yeah, I think what stands out just a whole team is, you know, 20 of the 22 offensive defensive starters are seniors. I think they have 25 guys that are either fifth, sixth, or seventh year seniors. Think about that. This is a very veteran, old team, especially in nowadays football. And nowadays football, that just doesn't happen. So I think that says a lot about Nick and his culture that he's created. That a lot of those guys want to stay and be a part of that program, and I think they're seeing the fruit of all that work.
You last question, we'll let you go. You talked about how the visiting team has won the last several years, though. But just what's the difference in playing at home for your team? You had the game 2 weeks ago, and you had a good atmosphere and crowd. And just what's it mean to be at home this weekend?
I mean, it's the energy, man. I think if we could get rocking, we got to play well, you know. But if we could get rocking, I think that's 3 points. I really do. That home field advantage with a big crowd. We had our best student section, our home opener. And so if they can really be raucous, you know, what's nice about Houck is they're right on top of you. There's no track there. And so it is a loud, raucous environment. And so, you know, we need those guys to show up and get after it.
Well, Coach, appreciate your time. Best of luck this weekend, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Thanks.